Hi, my name is Bruce Cameron, and today I want to talk about CJA and federal public defender cases. Hello everybody, I'm Bruce Cameron, Federal Prison Authority, and welcome to the First Step Act channel. Recently, myself and Jose have been luckily appointed and designated on federal public defender cases and several CJA cases. So this is a real good situation for us, where there have been judges in Wyoming and Colorado that have retained us to work alongside federal public defenders with their defendants. So what we do is, in these cases, we are very instrumental in looking at the offense conduct, and before the pre-sentence report is done, really giving the attorneys some ideas on where the person, their classification in their custody is going to be at, where they're likely going to fall once the pre-sentence report is done. So not only do we look at the instant offense, but we also look at prior records. We also look if there's been prior state time, federal time, etc. So actually then, once the pre-sentence report is done, we usually proofread it along with the attorney to make sure there's no mistakes. And if there are any objections to the pre-sentence report in terms of a scoring issue, those can be made. And then lastly, what we do is we give consultation to the attorney on language in the judgment commitment order. So oftentimes, specialty cases where it's a drug program case or maybe a sex offender case, where we look at facility designations. We will have the judge actually recommend 2 or 3 facilities that look like they meet the criteria that's inside the pre-sentence report, so that by the time Grand Prairie gets it, they can designate appropriately to the appropriate facility given the bed space of the individual. You know, a lot of times federal judges won't put anything in the judgment commitment order on a facility designation, but we strongly recommend that they do, particularly if it makes sense. Sometimes judges make facility recommendations to a female facility for a male, and it doesn't make sense, and then the folks in Grand Prairie are not going to look at that recommendation, obviously. But if the recommendations make sense, and through our guidance they always do, then we can do that. Also, with several folks that have mental diseases or defects, Asperger's, other types of psychological issues that might have influenced their criminal responsibility, we can weigh in on that as well, and sometimes get a downward departure, which is where the person is sentenced underneath the guideline, given, of course, psych testing and some other expert documentation. So we try to synthesize that into that as well, and then bring that into the judgment commitment order, get a facility recommendation based on those special needs, and a sentencing guideline range that fits the crime and fits the person. Well, folks, that was a little overview on what we're doing with CJA and federal public defense cases. The judges have been calling us mitigation experts, is what the work has fallen under. So if you're an attorney out there, or a federal public defender, or an attorney on a CJA case, on a CJA panel, and you're looking for assistance because the Bureau of Prisons is a very complex matrix, it's a very intensive place to navigate, we can do that for you. You can retain us to do that for you. Or if you're a defendant who is going to be needing this type of assistance, perhaps you have loved ones or whatever, whomever, that may want to retain us to do the similar thing, but on a private level, to assist during that process. Well, hopefully that was informative, and please stay tuned to our videos. Our site is federalprisonauthority.com. You'll see that the link below, and come by our Facebook page at First Step Act Federal Prison Reform on Facebook. It's a public page. There's a lot of great resources out there for early release and First Step Act and Second Chance Act activities. And so go by our website, go by our Facebook, and subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. Okay, everybody, thank you, and we'll see you next time.